Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in DayZ 1.11, and yes, it's finally time. DayZ patch 1.11 is now out for all platforms: PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series S. Finally, let's see. We have been playing this over on Experimental on the Xbox and a little bit over on the PC as well, but for the most part, you've been seeing us play a lot of the Experimental 1.11 over on the Xbox Unofficial and stuff, so we've got a pretty good idea of what's coming, so we're going to run down the list of some of the gotchas, some of the cool things that have been going on here, and what you guys can expect. So I would say if you're a PlayStation or Xbox player, go ahead and cue that download now whilst this video is playing. All right, so we just got word from Bohemian Interactive that it is here. And by the time you guys are watching this, unless there's some kind of crazy situation going on, this should be available for everybody. Now, just one of the side notes that I get almost every time, when this does update, be sure to hard reset your box, whether it's PlayStation or Xbox. Whether that's hitting the power button for 10 seconds or unplugging and then plugging it back in. It just helps with you finding the server list at the very end, like when you're done with it. So anyways, I thought that would help. All right, so there's the official word. This is for everybody, and we knew ahead of time. And I should also say, if you haven't been seeing any of the videos, there has been a wipe on official servers across the board. What does that mean? That means your characters, all of them, and anything on the board. With stashes, things you put on the ground, bases, it's all gone. Now, they did say the community was optional. So with that in mind, just know that some of those community servers could update. There could be issues with that. So yeah, so just I want to put that out there now just so you guys know in case you didn't hear. And I think their post covers most of this, so we're going to go ahead and plow through this. Okay, here we go. Hello, survivors. We are thrilled to announce that DayZ began the new year with a bang, setting an all-time record in January in average player count for the PC on Steam. We couldn't be happier that so many of you are enjoying the game. Our main news, however, centers around the release of 2021's first game update 1.11. A huge thank you to everybody who participated in the experimental phase of the update on both PC and Xbox. You're welcome! For those of you who are already checked out, or who already checked out our changelog, your boy can't read, PC console, you know that this particular update wasn't focused on any significant additions to the game. DayZ is a complicated beast, and since we had a fair-sized backlog of issues, we decided to focus on bug fixes and improving the game's stability instead. With that in mind, let's take a quick look at the update, at what this update actually contains. Yeah, so okay, so we're gonna keep it. I'm just make sure I'm not getting killed by zombies. Here we go. One of the things that we looked at was how the infected collided with players during melee fights and adjusted it so that the infected no longer go inside the player's character. That's actually nice, to be honest. We were commenting that a few days ago, saying it is weird that you hit them and then they kind of just go behind you. Getting out of cars has proven tricky in the previous update as well, as some players were randomly teleported onto the car's roof. This has been fixed, and your feet now remain exactly where you expect them to be after leaving your vehicle. Sea fishing would also be interrupted at times, but we squashed that issue too, and play should now be as smooth as calm waters. Finally, we improved horticulture in a number of areas, including removing garden plots removing garden plots with a shovel and infestation of plants. Okay, real quick, we got to feel this out in actual gameplay. You know how people have been putting down crop plots and stuff, like where they respawn, which is a really smart idea. That will still be a thing because you can collect rainwater and such, but just know that having ready-made food there is not going to be as common just because of the infestation. Basically, decay, more or less. All right, let's keep going. I didn't realize the textures up here were so low res. Boo! I haven't been on top of Solnichi Factory in a minute, to be fair. Okay, back to the list here. Moving on, we paid close attention to area damage triggers used on barbed wires and fireplaces, and players should no longer receive damage when moving out of the area. Speaking of barbed wire, we disabled its dismantling action on any built fence or watchtower from the outside. The maximum heat range for the fireplace was also adjusted and now gives a constant maximum heat bonus with a slightly larger radius, which lowers a player's chance of burning their feet during the warm-up sessions. Okay, I know that was kind of slipped in there, but the barbed wire mechanic being shifted to just the interior and not the exterior is massive. Now, I want to say we've done some raid tests with that, both with the grenades, and it's not the AS Val, they're calling it the S Val. I think that was the internal name, was the AS Val, and then I think they're calling it the S Val now. I'm going to go ahead and link that video now in the upper right-hand corner. This should help you. We did this on a live server during experimental phase, and we found some pretty cool stuff. So I'd highly recommend after this one, or you can pop over, put it on the watch list, whichever. I think it's quite useful because we're all going to be doing the mad dash for the loot. All right, let's get back to the last piece here. Our efforts continued with the infamous hand slot desynchronization issues. Thank you. I'm glad they're like calling it out now, because that's the thing. Okay, let me just finish reading through this. Though we can't claim victory on that one yet, as there are multiple sources that can trigger the problem. Rest assured that this remains a top priority for the team this year, and we'd really appreciate your feedback while we work to solve it. The best way to help is by recording a few minutes of gameplay prior to encountering this issue and getting in touch via our feedback tracker. Let me just go ahead and say, we've seen this quite a bit. I think it's lower than what it has been. Here are some of the fixes that we've found so far. Always putting away your items, not using your quick wheel, can help with that. And I would say, yeah, just like they're asking, if you've got footage or whatever and you like to submit it to them, that would be great. And even, I mean, shoot, you can use our live streams if you want to, and you can even time code those as links if you really want to, because we're playing all the time, and it does seem to kind of pop up. So we're going to try to do our part too and submit as much as we can. And if you guys have the opportunity, I would suggest that you do it too, because that's just going to make it better. I just know that it's not as bad as it was like last year and stuff. So just know there's an improvement, but as they said, it is still there. We have been playing experimental quite a bit, so I can tell you it's there. Also, one of the quick fixes is to sign in and out. A lot of times before we go into big fights, we just do a lot of looting. Sometimes we'll just sign in and out to clean it up. But I know, it's annoying, but it's just what it is. If you're part of our thriving modding community, you'll be pleased to learn there's been a massive improvement on the engine script side of things, which now allows the game server to load more mods than ever before. This, of course, increases the options for community servers who can now utilize even more creations from our awesome community. But not all 1.11 can be simply considered as bug fixing. Jeez, I cannot read. That is mainly because not everybody on the team can actively contribute to these efforts, which means that even though 1.11, which means that throughout the 1.11 cycle, we were able to continue with limited asset productions and balancing efforts. This includes new flags, which have been awarded to player groups from all three platforms, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, for winning the base building contest. I didn't know they were going to win a flag, although that's probably lack of me reading. I think we would have tried to push for that. But anyways, a little sip of the old tactical cylinder. Here we go. Another thing we took note of were the central loot economy setups. This is good. For both Chernarus and Livonia. We wound up making huge balance pass over a number of available magazines and ammo because the economy was way too saturated with spare magazines and ammo boxes in previous versions of the game. This change will reduce the occasional extreme difference between the number of weapons in the world versus the availability of magazines and ammo. Okay, so we know there's a lot to unpack there. Again, one of the major reasons why they did this was obviously they've been shifting the loot economy around a bit, and because they had duping fixes and other glitches and exploits in this update. That's another reason why they're wiping the map, but also because I think they said they're going to be watching, I think they might say it down here somewhere, but they're going to be watching the economy. So expect active changes, because we do know that this game's loot tables can be actively updated without a client-side update. So we'll be watching that. We'll be watching that closely. Heck, we'll be playing this today when it comes out. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Just know that the wipe was essentially because there was so much backlog of like the duping stuff, and again, their balance pass that they're talking about. So that's another reason why I welcome this wipe. It's going to be a blast for us to just jump on official and start looting things. But anyways, let me go ahead and get through this so we're not terribly long on this video. Okay, we're on the subject of weapons. There's a new Bad Ace rifle respawning at spawning at helicopter crash sites around Chernarus and Livonia. We can confirm that. We've decided to name it the S-Val. I'm pretty sure it was called the AS-Val before, but you know how they, with the copyrights and stuff. It's because it's called the S-Val now. So if you hear us say AS-Val, we really mean that, which is the Czech word for muscle. The weapon is derived from the existing VSS rifle, uses 9x39 ammo with an integral suppressor, and that, I gotta tell you, it's JME. Again, that video from earlier has the S-Val in there. Unofficial, baby. We've been modified, integral suppressor has been modified for close range combat with the added ability to attach a flashlight, universal sights, Western types. We've also added a new 20-round magazine for 9x39 ammo, which can be used with both the S-Val and the SS. And we've responded to your feedback regarding the signal pistol introduced in 1.10, so flares should fall much slower now. On the final bit of news, paired with the update, we had a complete wipe on official servers. Again, this is stuff we covered. The wipe is meant to complement the update for 1.11 for a fresh start into 2021. It also secures a clean foundation to monitor changes with previous economy updates. You can read more on our official announcement here. And then they've got a teaser here and everything else to go. So yes, big update. As far as like gameplay is concerned, just for the sheer fact that there is the wipe, I'm extremely excited for it. Again, we will be streaming this, playing this live on official. We will be playing on the Xbox Series X, which again is the same as the Xbox stuff because it runs in backwards compatibility mode. So be on the lookout for that, and hopefully we see you guys out there in the world. And yeah, if you found this useful, helpful, be sure to drop a like. And we are mad excited for this update, and hopefully we'll see you in the apocalypse. All right, love you. Bye. Let's see if we can light up these vehiculars. Yeah, I love it when the tire drops the car. Okay, bye.